Welcome back to the uncertain future of Defiant Horizon. Go forth, blood crow. Unmake evil, talons clenched, unfurled wings, opened eyes. Fight for yon feeble masses. Take back the peace from so-called warlords. Take flight, burn. Break through, claw. Look forward, blind. Number 4. Tengu Rising. Dock C-77, Port Island, Hashishima City, Hashishima. Thursday, August 9th, 2035. Come on, guys. If the boss catches you playing cards on the job, he's gonna chew us all out again, Egon said to Chow and Berk. He'd found them cooped up around the corner of row F in Warehouse 2. Their hideout again. Berk scoffed. What, you the boss's little pet now? No. I'm just not up for getting my pay docked again because you two keep goofing off and screwing the rest of us over. Not to mention the lecture. Egon looked over his shoulder as he heard some shuffling behind him, fully expecting the beet red face of the boss to be there glaring at them. But it was just one of the dock workers doing tallies or something. He breathed a sigh of relief, not realizing he had been holding his breath. Get lost, eggs. This is the cushiest guard gig in the city. Who the hell would be stupid enough to hit Syndicate turf, other than that fox bitch? And I still say those stories are just a bunch of shit, Chow said, drawing a new hand from the deck between the two. Besides, I haven't won all this loser's cash yet. Berk snorted, shuffling the deck as he spit to the side, a bit too close to Egon's boot. Oh, shut it, Chow. You'll cook this round. Egon sighed and stalked off. Those two would get caught again, and they'd all have to suffer the consequences. It just wasn't fair. Eager to get as much distance from the two as he could, Egon stepped out of the warehouse. The dock was humming with activity as the new ship had come that evening. He couldn't see it now, though, through the impressively thick fog that had settled in after sundown. In fact, he couldn't hardly see 10 feet in front of him. Dock workers moved as shadows behind a curtain of mist, faceless, nearly formless in the haze. It was not a very good night to be on guard duty. The dock workers could have been replaced with trained dogs and monkeys, and he'd never know unless he stumbled upon them. He leaned against the corner of the building, thinking about what he should do. It didn't take him long to decide. By chance, he passed Simmons and his stupid grinning face as he headed for the guardhouse at the far corner. Maybe if Egon ratted the two jerkwads out, the boss wouldn't slash his paycheck too. If he didn't make his next payment to Nix this week, he might as well be dead. His goons had already ransacked his apartment yesterday to make sure he got the message. Egon opened the door to the stout metal building with a large antenna on top to what felt like a tense scene between the ruby-faced, sweating, wispy-haired boss talking to a uniformed Hashishima police officer. Cut the shit, Sanchez. There's no way the Syndicate would pay a percentage of the cargo, boss said, in more of a bark than a voice, really. Gotta do something to make it worth my while with what you people push here. A bust of an op this big could get me promoted. Easy, the man said casually, hands tucked into his bulletproof vest through the armholes. That blood vessel on the boss's face looked close to bursting. He growled in frustration. Damn pigs! Think you run this town! At least on the outside. Look, man, I've got a wife who likes to go on shopping sprees we can't afford. She doesn't get to do that, and we fight. She stops cooking. She starts looking for another piggy bank with legs. Utter chaos. The cop stepped forward, bumping up on the wooden desk between them. Boss snorted. Not my problem you've got a wife that doesn't respect you. The cop laughed at that, shrugging. Well, see, it is. Maybe I'll just take that promotion after all. Egon jumped out of his skin as the boss slammed his sawed-off shotgun on the desk. A dead cop is easy enough to get rid of in this town. The man smirked, not even shaken by the threat. A dead cop brings questions. Questions you don't want to have to answer. People know I'm here. They'll know if I don't check in. He leaned forward, the two men's faces only a few inches apart. You want to pay off one guy? Or try your luck with dozens? What do you think the odds are you won't get a white knight in that? Boss grumbled, pushing away from the desk and running a hand through his nearly invisible hair, then sat down on his beaten-up swivel chair. 10,000. Sanchez laughed again. What? You think I think you're moving baby bottles and toy blocks through here? Don't waste my time. Then he turned towards Egon, well, the door, to leave. 100! The boss roared. That blood vessel really was going to burst this time. The cop turned back around. 100,000 every month. Every month, boss repeated, cursing under his breath. Sanchez smirked. Well, sir, I don't see anything out of sorts here. And bumped past Egon as he stepped out of the guardhouse. The boss smoldered for a moment, staring at the spot where the officer had been with an intensity that could have melted steel. He smashed a fist into the desk and snapped his gaze over to Egon. The hell you want and why are you not in warehouse 2? Egon nearly jumped out of his skin. Boss, I... Spit it out, the boss interrupted, slamming his fist into the desk again. Chow and Berk. They're playing cards again on the clock. I thought you'd want to know, Egon said, trying to blurt it out before he drew any more anger. Egon felt like his insides were boiling as the boss stood up, snatched his shotgun in his hand, grabbing its handle so hard the plastic creaked, and stormed out of the guardhouse. He tried to follow behind, but the boss was too fast, and he lost him in the fog. Then he almost fell on his face as he tripped while trying to catch up. Had the fog gotten even thicker? He opened the side door to Warehouse 2 and walked over to where the two had been. There they were, still playing cards. Looked like Chow was really taking Berk for everything he had. Egon looked around, puzzled. Where was the boss? What is it this time, Eggs? I told you to beat it, Chow said, taking a drag on a cigarette. Another thing Boss had gone on a tirade about. Egon looked around the corner and back where he came from. Did you not see, See what? This cheating bastard cleaned me out? Berk said, throwing his hand to the side. Chow chuckled, a knowing smile on his face. Who needs to cheat when you're so shit at cards? So you, just by pure happenstance, pull a straight flush right when I have a clean house. Berk snorted and spat to the side, this time actually hitting the toe of Egon's left boot. Sure, I believe that. Guys, seriously, you did... Egon started. Stop being such a sore loser, Berk. Your money likes me more anyway. I bet your wife would too, Chow said, talking over Egon while packing up the cards. Berk shouted, I've had enough of your stupid mouth, and threw a punch that connected with Chow's right cheek. In a flash, the two had snapped into a brawl on the concrete floor. Egon cursed, stepping back as he was almost hit by a wild kick. Just like always, a simple card game had devolved into a fight. He looked around the corner of the shipping container they were hiding behind, but the boss was nowhere to be seen. Perhaps he'd gone to a different spot? So Egon walked quickly down the row of containers, looking down each aisle to see if the boss was there. Nothing. He opened the side door, the closest to the guardhouse, and looked, rather futilely, around in the misty gloom. Then he heard the sharp, rattling series of snaps of rapid gunfire. Egon's heart sank. They wouldn't be stupid enough to shoot each other, would they? There was no way. He sprinted back to a scene that took him a moment to understand. Berk lay sprawled on the ground, a katana sword shoved through his chest, in a growing pool of his own blood. Chow had scrambled to the far corner of their little hideaway, his Crofton Arms CRS-55 SMG's muzzle smoking. In front of him, where the gun was pointed, was someone he didn't recognize. A masculine figure whose back was turned to Egon, in a black leather jacket and pants. Several holes had been torn through the jacket, presumably from the burst from Chow's gun. The figure burst forward and slashed at Chow with another sword. Egon yelped as he saw blood splatter on the side of the shipping container. Panic flooded his veins, and he broke into a full, desperate sprint out of the warehouse. He yelled over the radio, "Armed intruder in warehouse 2, some guy in a leather jacket just killed Chow and Berk. I'm headed to the guardhouse." Maybe 5 of the guys responded, saying they were on their way. Where was everyone? He burst through the warehouse side door and ran for the guardhouse. But then he tripped again, this time falling soundly on his face. He felt as if his skull rang like a bell as he peeled his face from the ultracrete. Egon groaned in pain, feeling at his nose as he felt a wet warmth coat his face. He hadn't broken it, and he didn't seem to be bleeding, but where? Cursing, he looked at his feet to see what he had tripped on. It was the unmistakable hulking figure of the boss. A pained, gasping look frozen on his now pallid face. A lethal gash carved deep into his chest. Egon screamed, dropping his gun and scrambling away from the body. "What is it? Did you piss your pants again?" He heard Simmons's voice behind him. Egon looked up to that stupid, grinning face. How the hell did he smile at a time like, "Who the hell is that?" Egon's heart beat erratically as he looked over to where Simmons was looking. It was the guy in the black leather jacket. He had a mask he couldn't see before when he had seen the man from behind. A red metal mask with sharp angular eye holes and a long arching nose. The man had perhaps 6 or 8 swords sheathed at his hips. He was tall, lean, and bare-chested save for the jacket. Blood was spattered across his fair-skinned torso and leather pants. Egon was horrified to see that there were no bullet holes in the man's chest that coordinated with the exit holes he had seen before on the man's back. But how? A strong, confident, almost theatrical voice called out from the strange man. "Do you know how a man kills a hydra?" Simmons shouted, leveling his rifle at the stranger. "What are you doing here? This is a restricted area!" Egon heard a storm of boots behind him and saw 5 of the other guards, Garvey, Watts, Takao, Harisa, and Chekhov, run up to join Simmons, weapons raised. Where was everyone else? "You can do what Hercules did and cut off the heads, and cauterize the stumps to keep them from growing back." Suddenly, the man stepped back into the oppressive fog, and then appeared out of nowhere as he slashed through Takao in the blink of an eye. Takao screamed in agony as he fell to the ground. What followed was utter chaos as the others opened fire, gun barrels blazing as streams of bullets flew through the air to slam into the man. He made no attempt to dodge. A red mist of blood puffed around the man as projectiles tore through him. He fell to his knees and the others stopped firing. The man had to have been struck by dozens of shots. He coughed, blood spurting from under the now heavily dented mask. Then he stood back up and continued speaking as if nothing happened. "But that means dealing with the beast directly and risking making it even stronger. One wrong move, and you are done for." "What the hell?" Egon said in horror as the man strode forward. The bullet holes were gone. Stunned, he watched as the man dashed forward, cutting Simmons in half at the waist, throwing a sword at Harisa's head, impaling Watts with the other, and spinning around to slice Chekhov and Garvey. They all fell to the ground, lifeless. Egon scrambled away from the man, but bumped into something. He cursed, realizing it was the boss's body, but he felt something at his right hand. The boss's sawed-off shotgun. He desperately grasped it, leveled the weapon at the attacker, and fired. 2 loads of buckshot punched a hole through the man's chest, which staggered him for a moment. He coughed again, then looked to Egon. "That hurts, you know. Could you stop?" he said in a surreally calm, almost friendly tone. The shotgun dropped uselessly from Egon's hand. He shook his head in disbelief. What was happening? The man continued, "The surest way to kill a hydra is to starve it out. Rob it of food, break its teeth and jaws, and chase away its prey." He knelt in front of Egon, the eyes behind the mask hidden in the gloom. Could the man even be human? Do this, and the creature will either shrivel and die, or it will eat itself to death in desperate hunger. The man said, then stood. "You are lucky. You're the last one. Everyone else in this putrid operation is dead. One more line of food, denied the hydras of this city." Egon's heart sank. No wonder so few had come. This creature, this monster had killed everyone else. The fog must have given him all the cover he needed to pass unnoticed. "Don't worry. I'm not going to kill you. You have an important job after all," the man said, cracking his knuckles. "What?" was all Egon could manage. The man knelt in front of him again. "Tell your syndicate bosses about tonight. Tell your friends, if you have any left. Tell your enemies, again, if you have any left. Tell everyone. Hashishima will not be a breeding ground of crime, villainy, and oppression anymore. If they want to escape the coming fire, they should leave now." Tears streamed down Egon's face. He had no idea why. His body couldn't stop shaking. A single question came to him. "What are you?" He heard the man chuckle, then stand again. A metal board fell from the sky till it hovered just above the ground in front of the man. Tiny pencil-sized gravitytrons sparked under the board. He stepped onto it and said, "I am the Crimson Tengu. Enjoy the fireworks." And the man hurtled into the sky, vanishing like a ghost into the fog. Suddenly, a massive explosion ripped the curtain of fog away as he saw the large container ship erupt into flames, followed by all 5 warehouses. One by one, Egon watched the spectacle, dumbfounded. Then, he just started laughing. Next time on Defiant Horizon. What on earth are you talking about? Why are you here? Well, I'm your partner, of course. Let me guess, you're chuffed to bits to see me. Investigate. See if your fox or whatever had a hand in this. If not, I want you out of here. I hope you enjoyed today's show. What did you think of the episode? Leave a comment down below to let me know what you thought, or leave a question for my new monthly Q&A episode. Before you go, please be sure to leave a like and share the show with a friend. It makes a massive difference in helping with discovery of the show, but also lets me know what you'd like to see more of. Check out the link tree below in the description to see all the different ways you can enjoy the show, or how to connect on social media and Discord. Special thanks to Fulfill Your Destiny for being a paid subscriber on Substack. Your contribution makes this show possible, and I cannot thank you enough for your support. If you would like to be featured in the show's special thanks, as well as other perks, please check out my Substack link in my link tree. Words cannot express how much I appreciate you taking some time out of your day to see what I've been working on, and I truly hope to see you again soon. Until next time, good fortune, good health, and good day.